Hello, hello. I think we're live. It's always weird at the beginning. Refresh my page. Oh, here we go. Okay. Hey, Escape. Is my audio okay and everything? Just let me know if anything gets messed up. Also, this was the last time I did a live stream. This was that amazing purple case. I want to switch this one out. I'll get to that in a second. Let me grab all the rest of mine. What's up, AAA? As always, let me know if I messed up the sound or, anything. Yeah. While we're waiting for people to join, I'll just grab any other boxes. Of course, I just grabbed the original case, not the replacement ones. Oops. All right, I got these 3, possibly 4. We'll take a look at all of these, take a look at the VMU Pro, and I don't know, this is going to be a laid-back one today. This is just the type of stuff I'd rather do with friends on streaming and have some more fun with it. Neil. yeah, it's you know what? That's not too far off. Not too far off. Got the GDMU in there. So the reason for the case swap is twofold. First of all, as amazing as this case looks, it feels weird having an amazing purple shell with the rest of my setup being black, knowing that my friend Destiny loves purple and wants all the purple stuff. So why don't I just get the black shell that matches the equipment I have and give this absolutely badass one to her? And that way everybody kind of wins. I'm very, very, very lucky to have good friends that all take care of each other. So I want to continue to do that. This nice painted one even comes with that nice cloth. So I'm going to take this one off. Let me just, you know what? Let me show this off one last time. And let's see if we're going to get lucky with autofocus here. Never really happens with the GH5. I got to afford a GH7 at some point. This is just an awesome, awesome color. I mean, it is just very cool. And it kind of changes color based on the light that hits it. Like a lot of new Hyundai car colors. Just a weird analogy, but it's 100% accurate. Sometimes it looks much darker. So I don't know if it's coming across on camera, but in person, it almost looks like this bottom piece doesn't quite match until you move it around, and it's just the way the light hits it. So like right now it matches perfectly. So it's really cool. I'd love to watch a video on how these light changing colors work. I mean, even as I'm standing here, I did the white balance calibration on the camera, and we're in a white box, so everything's controlled. And I still, like, it's blue, it's purple, it's dark purple, it's black. This is just awesome. Very, very, very cool case. Thank you, Mr. Megafan. I really, really appreciate that. All right, so I have my soft pad so I don't scratch anything. Let me grab my screwdriver and get going. And I always get it wrong on the first try. I can't ever remember if this is the screwdriver where I need the bigger one or the smaller one for. No, bigger one's a perfect fit. Cool. I think the Dreamcast must be the console where my power screwdriver doesn't fit properly, which with a painted case like this, I don't think I would ever use a power screwdriver just in case. I feel like for streams like this, every time I stop talking and unscrew something, I should have like one of those sound effects things hooked up to OBS so I could play Tito's music every time I start unbolting something, so it feels like a Macho Nacho stream. I obviously mean that with love, but also want to actually do it. Okay, so let me do a couple of things. I'm going to put this aside carefully so I don't accidentally scratch it or something. And let me get out some of the other shells I have here today that I wanted to take a look at. What's up, everybody? I actually forgot which ones Yoey sent me a while back, so I think I'm going to be just as surprised as you all for this, and we could all kind of choose together, maybe? I don't know. Alright, so this one, ooh, that is cool. I don't even know what color you would call this one. Let me very carefully open this up. So it comes with different color inserts and everything to choose from. Wow, this is very, very cool. I'm going to be very careful with this. When I'm done with it, I want these to still be in brand new shape. Wow, that's cool. So that is not at all going to match my setup, but wow, translucent greenish. Let me drop this right on here just to see the difference. So you see it with installed. Damn, that's really cool. I'm going to leave this out 1 second. Let me just grab something here. Dreamcast Halo Edition. That's kind of what I was thinking when I first saw it. Alright, let me... so this one's great. And high quality as all the Yoey shells. But this is definitely not going to fit the all-black cart that I have going on right now. So I'm going to carefully put this back. I'm very happy to show that one off. I used to have sticky notes down here. I wish I'd remembered so I could mark these off. Maybe I still have a piece of paper or something. I hate to waste a piece of paper. I gotta have a sticky note. Index card. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I just grabbed a random pen, and it's a limited run pen. I wonder if Analog uses those. Do I know if it's possible to remove the gray triangle insert from the stock shell drive lid? I don't know. I could take a look in a second on that. I'll just call this one Halo Green Transparent. And let me see if I have my my stock Dreamcast shell lying around. I think I just found it over in another cabinet. If I do, I could check that for you, because while this is a very selfish stream where I just want to hang out with friends, I also would love to be helpful at the same time. So let me see if I could find that for you. Just boxing this one up. Oh, wrong thing. Do I have any news about the Genesis 2 transparent shell? So, Martin didn't get enough orders to make them, and I don't know what the status is. I don't know if he's trying to push it through or not. That's a great question, because I think there should have been refunds by this point. And if there weren't, then I will talk to Martin about that. Did you personally pre-order one? Or were you just kind of curious, just wondering what the status was? Sorry, I'm getting myself organized now so I don't have to keep you all waiting for the rest of the stream. All right. Let me just see if I could find the original Dreamcast and see if I can answer that one for you. So you are talking about removing this gray piece from the original. And if it is removable, it would be glued in, because there's no there's nothing here. So it's not like it's a screw down or a rivet or anything like that. Does anybody know the answer for sure? Is this glued in? Can this be popped out? This isn't the world's best case, but it's also not a bad case either, so I don't really want to destroy it just in case. Great question, though. Maybe somebody in the chat knows. Yeah, Retro Jeff, I think it's probably going to be like 10 minutes, 15, 20 tops, I guess, to get there. As long as I don't keep getting ADHD sidetracked, which I actually enjoy, so keep the random questions coming. Alright, so I'll put that one back. Yeah, I have kind of an unfortunate history of if I tried something like, oh, let's see if it pops off, I might destroy it by accident. So I'm going to skip that for now. I got 3 more shells to look at, and then once I decide on which one I'm keeping for my personal one, I will slap this sucker together and move on to the VMU Pro. Oh, this one looks neat. Here we go. Slow reveal. Ooh. This is cool. More choices of emblems. Yoey's stuff is always amazing. Actually, I would say anybody who makes official, well-built replacement cases always has amazing stuff. Yoey and Martin from Retro Game Restore. It's only the cheap knockoff AliExpress stuff that doesn't work well. That is neat. All right, let's throw the top on the purple one just to see how the top looks with it. Wow, that is very, very cool looking. Perfectly clear, got a ridiculous emblem on it. Anybody who knows, knows. That's beautiful. And this has got 2 choices. It's got silver or gold. I'd probably do silver on this one, but that's just preference based. That is so cool. R2 Dork, cleaning my coffee pot with Cafizo while I watch this. That is hilarious. Still love that video. Algae TRG, yes, it is, because I'm using an ODE, so I put a dummy load on here so it doesn't overheat. I did that in my video a while back. There's also other ways to do it, but that's just what I chose. See, did I miss another one? If it made a transparent Mega Man blue color, I'd probably buy it. They have a ton of colors. Check the links in the description, please. All right, so I'll put this one back, and we'll just take a look at the other ones. That's really cool, though. I love the white buttons how they just pop like that and they match the creepy little emblem. That's great. Yeah, carefully get this back in without messing up the stickers or anything. Okay. Put that sucker back in the box, move right on to the next. Yeah, the VMU Pro tariff situation, it just sucks for everybody. And it's just one of those things where it's like, what are you going to do if you're a small company that, you know, tries to make the smallest margins that you can while still living, so that you don't have to charge an arm and a leg for something, but you could still, you know, you can still afford to pay your bills, and then something like that happens completely unseen and unexpected. That's frustrating and annoying, and I feel bad for everybody, because also the people who pre-ordered didn't expect to suddenly have to pay more. But, you know, it's very stupid to say something like, oh, they should have eat the cost of it. Right, okay. I instant mute people who say stuff that dumb. Walmart, sure, that's a different story. Okay, so here's the last two. I actually didn't intend to have the two black ones last, but this is going to be a tough decision for me, because this is just a cool black case. It's flat black, looks excellent. It's got some awesome Dreamcast logo choices. I would probably also do black, and I would probably do the blue as well. Oh man, this is going to be a tough one. I'm going to have both of these out at the same time for me to be able to really tell, because I think I know what's in the second one. So let me, I'll move the purple one out of here. Let me save my screws so I don't mess that up too. Oh boy, tough decision time. At least I'm lucky that every other console on this setup is going to be black, because if it was a mixed setup, they're all awesome. I might have already just decided, let me do the white buttoned clear one. We'll see. All right, here we go. Oh boy. There's another really cool one. So this is Clear Smoke. Oh boy. Mr. Mega Man fan, does Yowie have it, or does Stone Age Gamer have it in stock? Yeah, Teflon CA, whatever's the cheapest for you is what I suggest. I mean that with love to all stores who sell them, but it's the same exact product coming from the same place, and they're all officially licensed resellers. So whichever one is cheapest overall for you is the win. Period. Oh, boy. Oh, this is going to be such a tough choice. So I have a PS2, a PS3 Slim on the other one. So I think the flat black is going to be the one that I go with. But oh man, what a hard choice. I think the only other thing I might ever put on this one specific cart is a GameCube. But so I guess I'd have to do an aftermarket case there. So let's just see what this is like. All right, so this is just awesome. Flat black Dreamcast, very cool. This would fit right in with this setup as if I'd planned it the whole time. But oh, that's so cool. Ah, that's so cool. Let me just off camera. I'll snap a picture at the end for you all. I'm just gonna put it on the on the shelf to see. So the flat black one sits next to the PS2 and looks like they were meant to be like that. Now let me just for out of curiosity try this one, but I think the flat black is it just because it matches everything else. But let me see this one. It's so hard to decide. I'm going to snap a picture and I'm going to put it on this stream so you all could see what I'm seeing, because this is tough. I'm going to need your all help with this one. Is there a clear vape? I don't think they did original white simply because you could try to retro bright it, which I normally never have. All right, so Mr. Mega Man fan said that Stone Age Gamer, linked right in the description here, has the blue one, so you could have a Mega Man style thing. All right, let me snap a picture here. So I'll snap a picture of the whole thing, but just note that the white Wii is not going to be there pretty soon, and neither is the clear Genesis. They're just here because they're fun places to. This is just a fun place to sit it. All right, let me do this. All right, let me upload these, and then so you all could see, and then I'll swap it to the other one. And then after the swap, I'll get to the VMU Pro, which should be pretty quick and easy. Oh, I was trying to figure out why it wouldn't, why I couldn't get the picture on. It's because I have it saved from my iPhone in the original HEIC format, and I got to convert it to like JPEG for this one. That's pretty funny. All right, I'll try this first. All right, so that's the smoke clear one. Wow, my PS3 got dusty. Now I'm embarrassed showing these off. Let me try one more picture here, and then I'll swap the other one in as well. Pictures suddenly not working? Huh? Weird. Let me try that again. Okay, here we go. So once again, ignore the two on the left. That's the transparent one. And I'm going to wipe the dust off of this because my OCD is going through the roof right now. I didn't even notice it till I saw it on the picture. Okay, and I'll swap it over to the flat black one, and I will let you all decide which you think is the best. And at some point, I will do a video about these carts that I've been building, especially because of that new HD CRT I got. So it's basically going to be 15 kilohertz consoles, and then 480p that also can do, that's mostly 4x3. And then 480p and up that could also do widescreen. All right, so those two were frosted black. Let me get the solid black ones up here. Okay, a little too far zoomed in here, but let me, I'll get the other picture up. 1 second. Yeah, see what I mean? Let me see if I can put them side by side. All right. Yeah, see, I think the flat black one fits a little bit better, but damn, that's a tough one, huh? Psychus, yeah, the frosted black is unique. It still fits with the setup, but I don't know. Hmm. Jeez, this is tough. Smoke if the PS3 is dusty and mad if it's not. I'd love that. I absolutely love that. That's very funny. I'm going to snap one last picture, and this will just be it. And then we'll have to just choose and make the decision. I think if I end up putting a GameCube on here at some point, what would have to happen is the GameCube and Dreamcast would be on top because for height issues, obviously, and the PS2 and 3 would be at the bottom. So maybe what I'm about to show you is going to be a better example. I don't know. We'll find out in a second. Let me get, where's the side of this thing? Come on, here we go. Let's do this. All right, almost. All right, there we go. I think solid black's going to be the winner here, but I want to give the chat a moment to chime in case you all think I'm making a bad decision. The zero contrast between the console and controller inputs is kind of weird. Yeah, but it's also kind of cool at the same time. Oh, rent. I got this helmet on, the headset. So yeah, darn it. I probably is picking it up. And I actually threw my back out lifting that giant HD CRT. So I'm heavy breathing more than usual because every once in a while I'll move in one direction and it feels like I'm getting tased in my lower back. Kyle, that's a tough one. I don't know. I think I'm going to go with flat black just because the Sega Sports Edition was kind of close to it. It was a little glossier, but it's kind of more because I don't have any of the other clear cases on this cart. So I think that's just going to be the best way overall to get it to look sort of like the original or like an official, if you will. So yeah, let me switch the view over. I almost just started working on this stuff without removing the image. What a moron. Okay. I don't know about the Cube. I don't even know if I'm going to get a GameCube because I normally just play it all through the Wii. You know, if Extremis was here, he'd probably yell at me for saying that, but it's the honest truth. So, but I do use Swiss when I can. All right, let me swap this out real quick. And we'll get this plugged in and go from there. Uh-oh, my resistor just shot out somewhere. Ah, there it is. Okay. You know, I think I should be safe using the power screwdriver for this one. Let me grab that. I'll keep checking the chat, too. I had the Sports Edition Dreamcast, and I thought it was the best looking one. I know that might be blasphemous to say, but I'm just being honest. As far as, like, the official ones go. Although I never saw any of the official, like, fantastic ones in person. Come on. All right, let's try. I need my little screwdriver for the fan. Anybody see the network card video on my second channel? You'll get that. I'm sure I'll lose it again in a week, but whatever. And this is a mostly stock Dreamcast, other than it being recapped, which I don't really remember why I wanted to do that. I think there was a reason, and I don't remember why. I'm going to leave this like this for now, I guess. All right, let me... Before I put it away, one last shout out to that awesome purple one. Very cool. Let me grab the emblems off of this one too. Okay, I got the emblems, and I might... So I'm going to be using the blue Dreamcast one, not the orange, but I'm also going to be using the black one. So I wonder if I should give this, what was that, pink? Probably drop that in the box for Destiny, just in case she wants to swap that out, because that is a cool one. All right. Goodbye, awesome color-changing Dreamcast. I'm very lucky I got to mess with this for a while, but this wasn't the right fit, the purple one. It just stood out too much. It was just too cool. It's like back in the 90s where people used to put like really expensive flashy rims on like, you know, an old Volkswagen Rabbit with the rotted out sides and nothing on it. It was just like, okay, your rims are worth significantly more than your car. Alright, there's the purple one stashed aside. One more shout out to the smoke. I'll put that one away too, and we'll slap the sucker together and get to the VMU Pros. SP95 RIP resistor. Did it go shooting across or something? It's right here. Did I knock it over or something? That wouldn't surprise me if I did. Okay, slapping this back together. Wonder if anybody ever tried porting the original Halo to Dreamcast. Well, there is that one crew porting everything to the Dreamcast that's doing an amazing job, so who knows? If it hasn't happened yet, it might already. Or it might be in process, I mean. Alright. Get this in first. Alright, motherboard. Don't touch the bottom. That went in nice and easy. Has anybody tried the different methods of, instead of using a resistor, doing different things for the ODEs? Because I also remember a couple other things like removing a capacitor and adding a different type of dummy load to it. There was a whole bunch of different choices. I'm not really sure what if anybody found that one was better than the other. Because they all are fine, but it'd be nice to know for sure, just to know. back here, screw. Oh, of course, I'm right off camera. Sorry. Poke Express, was I still interested in having that discussion about the NES Genesis footage cleanup models? Can you be a little more specific? Because there's that one from the video that RIP Felix put out. That's sitting here. That's probably going to be the next live stream I do. And if it's not, then it would only be because I want to make sure to get at least one of the team members on to talk about it with me. But I'm very excited for that one. The only reason I haven't showcased it yet, and by the way, I've talked to the crew about this. They know everything. Not only are we cool, I'm a huge fan of what they're doing, but the only reason I haven't showcased it yet is time. I'm so backed up with so many things. This Dreamcast case swap was supposed to be over 6 months ago, believe it or not. And the VMU Pros came in weeks ago. And the only reason I'm doing this one first is because I get to do both. You know, Dreamcast themed stream with both of them. But I'm not sure. If you meet another one, please let me know. All right, let me double check the chat again. What's up, Kawako? What's my favorite Dreamcast game? Oh, so when the Dreamcast came out, I couldn't afford one, and at that time in my life, I would have definitely rather spent money on booze and drugs and cars and stuff too, to be honest with you. I wish I could tell you a different story, but I'd rather always tell you the truth. But I remember the first thing the first thing I remember is a buddy of mine got one and got the VGA cable to connect to his monitor, and I was just blown away at the difference. Like I didn't quite understand, you know, the 480p rendering native versus 480i thing back then. But I did know that it was a noticeable difference. And then I've always loved the Daytona arcade games. So any chance I had to play a Dreamcast, it was always Daytona. You know, that would be my first pick just because I love the game. So I don't have the same amount of hours with it I do with like SNES, Genesis, and those. So I don't feel like I could give you a fair answer for what's my favorite, just because I don't really have like, I just don't have the experience with it that I do the others. But, you know, had to pick one, like answer right now or get, you know, kicked off of YouTube, it would be Daytona just because of how much that game meant to me in the arcades. We had a place called FYE, For Your Entertainment, at the mall in Bridgeport, and they had a 4-player Daytona. And there wasn't a single time I went to that mall that if I went to that FYE, I played Daytona every time, even though it was, you know, they're always expensive there and everything. Because, you know, the sit-down arcades always had required more quarters than the others. But yeah, every time. That was always me. Oh, come on. I don't want to use magnetic screwdrivers for all the reasons, but my eye's getting old and broken. Makes all this stuff harder. Probably should have fed that in underneath, huh? I forgot to feed the thing in. Well, what a moron. Back out. This underneath here. Actually, I could probably screw down the button right now too to make that easier. Let me check chat as well. Oh, software based for cleaning up archival footage. I totally forgot what you were talking about. Could you please continue to elaborate? I promise my old foggy brain will kick in a minute. But also remember that I got so much that I'm in the middle of working on that some stuff I basically just had to kind of abandon because I just don't have the time, which is sad. Like I would have loved to continue to doing Laserdisc Doomsday stuff because as soon as Harry sends me the latest of the VHS one, I want to jump into that. So at some point soon, I'm going to have to get back into the Laserdisc stuff. I also need the Laserdisc test disc. Otherwise, I won't be able to calibrate the one that I got. But yeah, there's tons and tons of stuff like that I just want so badly to work on. I think the thing with Doomsday, and you know, every time I say this, I feel like I'm going to get attacked by everybody on the Discord, but it's such a pro solution. It is absolutely not something that your average person can just go, let me do this. Like with the RetroTink capture, no, it's not the world's best VHS capture. It's not going to compete with a $3,000 TBC, but anybody with just the smallest bit of nerdiness and patience can follow my guide to do it right. Anybody. But it's not that way with Doomsday. There's a lot more to it. You need to understand a lot more about what you're doing. Whereas with the Tink stuff, you don't even need to know what you're doing. You just need to know how to do it. But you gotta have more understanding with Doomsday, and there's a lot more that you'd have to worry about. A lot more of a learning curve. And it sounds like I'm crapping on it right now, but quite the opposite. I think it's incredible. Hold on, I have to get one of my 10 pairs of glasses to do this. I think it's incredible. It's not something that you could just follow a guide and do. There's a lot of gotchas. But that software Bravicon, I talked to Simon a couple months ago, who was like, oh yeah, I'm going to jump back in and fix the aspect ratio thing right away. And that was the last I heard from him. So I don't know what happened to him. He probably got distracted. You could still use something like StaxRip to do it. But that's, I mean, if that program was easier, I wouldn't have used Bravicon in the video. I would have used StaxRip. So if I remember correctly, I was able to just, let me grab my tweezers just in case. I was able to just jam that in and it held fine. Kawaka did the Noctua fan mod and it's still loud. Does anybody have a different suggestion? I remember the Noctua fan still being audible, but I wouldn't call it loud. Solid. Well, it doesn't look it, but very, very, very solid. Okay. Alright, everything is bolted into place. I lost the standoff for the GDMU here, so I just leave it flopping over. If anybody's got an extra standoff or knows where I could just order an easy one, let me know. And we're going to put... Okay. We'll do those two last. Let's put the purple one in a big pile of stuff I got to bring over to Destiny's as soon as I can get down there. Every once in a while, I'll find something awesome and just be like, "Oh, I already know the answer is yes. I'm just gonna pick it up and she'll throw me the cash when I get there." I actually have a couple of friends I do that for, where if I see something that I know is absolutely their jam, I'll just grab it for them and tell them after the fact. And not once has anybody been like, not really into that one anymore. Every time they're like, yes, perfect. I guess we'll find out in a couple of minutes if it even turns on anymore. Would be very funny if it didn't. Okay. Voila. My Dreamcast has been transformed. I'm going to put this stuff over, and now I'm just going to put on the two emblems and switch over to the VMU Pro. I don't know if the shell accommodates the broadband adapter tie, but I think that would be too small. But since this is an aftermarket shell, you should probably feel free to just file it down. Which, I mean, if whatever you own, you should feel free doing whatever you feel like to. It's just when I see people destroy perfectly good vintage consoles, I always cringe, even though it's theirs and they're allowed to do whatever they want with it. Whereas something like this, it's like, no, this is aftermarket. You bought this to be different, so be different. All right, so I think for these, it's kind of a no-brainer. I'm just going to add the black one to it. Because this is neat. That's certainly neat. But if we're doing a blacked out edition, yeah, that's going to be more my jam right there. I'm going to have to get my little tweezers, aren't I? So PokePress said your machine learning models that you use to process the video file frame by frame, there's an application called Channeler that runs the process. Channeler? Let me see if I can get a link to that so I know what we're talking about. Everybody in this stream with ADHD is completely following, and everybody else is like, Bob, pick one topic, not 5. Is that what you meant? Yeah, and yes, it does look almost kind of like a Model 1 Genesis. Maybe that's why subconsciously I like it so much, because it's still Sega, but it reminds me of that Model 1 that I loved so much. Okay, hold on. Let me get pair of glasses number 3 for this one. Okay. Alright, that one's a win. Now I'm going to go with the blue Dreamcast logo. Yeah, that's definitely for me. I have to fight with one of these stickers again. It's always such a pain. Okay. Oh, I bumped it up. Let's hope this holds. What a moron. No, that's good. My blacked out Dreamcast. I like it. I loved those other shells though. I absolutely loved them. I think in a different setup, if it was matching different colored stuff, every one of those is an absolute win. Especially if you had that green one next to like an Xbox, an original Xbox. That would just look so cool. All right, cleaning this junk up. Anybody ever throw their back out and then you drop something and you just stare at the floor and look at it and you're like, do I need to pick this up right now? Can I come back in a day or two when I'm healed, or should I just pick this up? Dreamcast Stealth Edition, yeah. Oh, Ty, I get worse and worse every year. My dad was like that too, so I should have expected it, but I don't think I saw it coming. I just think, I think it was on one of these streams that I first talked about when I destroyed 2 motherboards putting the CPU in. And I'm like, after the first one, I was like, oh, I must have just been having a bad day. It happens. I feel dumb, whatever. And after the second one, I'm like, I've probably assembled 1,000 computers from teenage years till now, and I've never done that once. So what's going on? And that's what sent me to the doctor. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm blind. And then, of course, because of our lovely medical system, it took 2 years to actually find an eye doctor that was good. All right. The time has come. Let me, I think everything should be fine in the stream. Hold on one second. Let me double check. Do I have blacked out controllers to match? I don't, but that's a great question. Most of the time, this is going to just be sitting on that rack that I showed you all. So it's more about like how cool it looks just by itself. And then when it's plugged in, no, it's going to have all different color controllers. Elscape, it does stink getting old. I think my eyesight is the thing that I miss the most, because I know if I didn't stop doing core exercise, I would have never thrown my back out. Or if I was, not dumb enough to lift a 200-pound CRT. All right, so let's do this together. I'm going to hit record. I don't have any clue if this is going to affect the stream, so I'll check it in a second. So this way I could do an official unboxing. VMU Pro manual, the little QR code. Thanos, are you messing with me? Is that text that's supposed to be readable by any human ever? This has got to be a joke. Did he send me one with this small print just knowing that I went blind? Wow. Okay. Then little handle and VMU Pro. Micro SD slot. All right, that is very cool. And I'm lucky enough to have 2 here, because a friend of mine wanted 2 and said, do you want to look at both of them? And I said, of course. And I'm going to grab a Dreamcast controller while I'm over here too, just so we could see how that looks plugged in. Uh-oh, cable's twisted. While I'm in my box of controllers, let me actually see which Dreamcast ones I have. That way I could show you comparisons of how they look at both. It'd be very funny if I actually only had one still. Yeah. Huh. Well, that's surprising. I got like 7 Genesis controllers and 1 Dreamcast controller. Okay, well, you're going to see it in the blue one. Sorry. All right, good tip, Brent. If anybody has any issues with the D-pad not pushing right, specifically, you might need to loosen the tiny screws. Dr. Krakenstein, did you see Tito's video on the VMU Pro? Because if you did, you might still watch that video and go, ah, cool, I don't need it, which is totally fair. But you might also watch that video and go, oh, I will take all the extra features. That's funny. This one perfectly matches that that smoke one that I just decided not to. Neither of these are mine anyway, though, so that's okay. All right, so let me grab that controller. Poke Press, do you want to just email me that? I'd love to take a look when I have time. All right, let's see. Put the black one over to the right, white one over to the left. Let's see how both of these look. So here they are together. So this is not solid black. This is smoke transparent black, and that's solid white. And this is the only controller I have at the moment. Snug fit. Real snug fit. Let me try the white one. Oh wait, my dumbass. Hold on a second. This is why I love doing live streams. I never want to pretend like I'm some genius that never gets things wrong. I never, ever, ever mind being a moron on stream. So how do you remove this, though? Aha, do you just yank it? Oh, I turned it on. Is there like a thing to pop it out? A side squeeze? Let's try this one. This is very funny to me. How am I not getting this? All right, so I guess that's the power button on the side. It's kind of hard to get to. I sort of feel the button depressing. Oh! Okay, so it's just stuck. You gotta get your thumb under there. Perfect fit. Not snug at all. What a moron. Okay. So let's try that on the other one. All right, I just cut my nails yesterday, which is why it was so hard for me to get those under there. Another perfect fit, not snug at all. Bob's a moron. Wow. Okay. So what do you all think for something like this? Now, neither of these are mine. I'm just kind of curious for like how it looks. Come on, dude. I don't think it matters. I think if the controller matched the color of this perfectly, I think it would matter. But I think when the controller is not going to match anyway, I don't think it matters at all. What do you all think? I'm going to see if I could find an original VMU to compare it to. Ah! I'm just reading the chat. Take the cap off. Take the cover off, dummy. Take the top off. Take the cover off. Bob! Spazmo, I didn't think the Dreamcast had USB. I was just like, I don't know what I was thinking. Rent says update the firmware before I put it into controller. Cool. So Retro Jeff said the Pro has way less of a click and snap feel. Seems floatier. I'll see if I can grab the original in there. Get a guitar pick in there. Yep. Okay. Let's see if I could open up or find another VMU. I think I have an original one in here. I thought I had two, but I also thought I had more than one Dreamcast controller, so we'll see. I wish I had an easier camera setup so I could show you all as I'm digging through these boxes, all the crazy crap I have in here. I've done those streams where I went through them all and sold the extra stuff, and those were a lot of fun, but it's well, look at the first thing I found in the box. There's got to be a VMU in here. A Sega 32X adapter for a Genesis 3. Alright, what do we got? There's got to be something in here. No? Oh, that's craziness. I'm not a gambler, but if you had bet me like a solid $50 if I had a Dreamcast VMU, I would have said I have at least two, an original white one and a transparent one. Wow, weird. Okay. Well, that stinks. Sorry about that, everybody. I really, truly could have sworn I had one. I think you all know what's going to happen, right? I'm going to say goodbye after the stream, start putting some stuff away, and there it is. It's going to be right in the top of whatever I'm looking at as soon as the stream is over. Huh. Let me just check one last box just in case, because this seems like something that would have been very appropriate for this stream. And as always, if you hear a high-pitched sound followed by a thud, then you all know what happened. Somebody call a friend, send them over to peel me off the ground. Alright, I got one. Okay. Alright. Oddly enough, this is actually the perfect one. So we have two smoke-colored VMUs. And let's check that click. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. Snug fit. Not so snug a fit. I mean, with respect, if you're picking up your Dreamcast controller by the VMU, you're not doing it right. However, as you can see, whereas original, so I wonder what the issue is. Is it these connectors? Is it the snap-in? I don't know. Let me leave this side by side for a second while I find a micro SD. We'll do a manual focus here. I'll leave those next to each other, and I'm going to go find a micro SD to configure for this thing. And I'll share my screen so we could show that too, just for the heck of it. The Pro is slightly longer, but I don't think it really mattered. It stuck up a tiny bit from the top, but certainly not a thing. Yeah, I still haven't heard from Voltar, and it's the longest I've ever gone without talking to him since we met, like, a decade ago. He mentioned something about recovering, and I get up early and go to bed early now because that's what you do when you're really freaking old, and I think he's the opposite, so... Alright, let me see if I could... let me share my screen here. All right, I don't think I'll be able to see the chat while I do this, but let me share my screen anyway, and we'll go from there. All right. Oh, what am I doing? Stop. All right. So... where's the support, Thanos? Because I can't read your tiny little play a joke on people pricing. So the not being as snug as the original is something to note. It's not a complaint. But this is an official complaint, Thanos. You should have a support button right here. So dum-dums like me could just go to the website and go from there. All right, let me see if I could find this. See if I could do it with the QR code. Oh, hold on. All right, I was able to snap a picture of it. So let me go to the website direct here. No, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right at all. Let me try that again. qrco.de/BG capital M1KL. So this is exactly what's on the card. That is so funny. I have to show you all this because this isn't, as you've all clearly seen, I have no problem being the moron that makes the stupid mistake, obviously. But I don't think that's what just happened. That is very, very, very funny. All right, hold on. Let me get this picture loaded on the computer here. Actually, I think I could just do it the other way. Yeah, air. So you all see that, right? I typed that in correctly. QR. Right there. You could see it. BGM1KL. So that's funny. Okay, so let me see if it goes that way if I use my phone to do it. Maybe not an L, but an uppercase I. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ah, you're right. You're right. You're right. You know what? That's up to you to decide whether I'm the moron or whether Thanos is trolling me with a tiny little print. That is still funny, though. Okay, first time setup. All right, so just format. Yeah, let me grab whichever one I have here. I think I have a 16-bit, or 16-bit, 16 gigabyte, because I don't think you'd ever really need it anymore. If I got a 32, that's fine as well. It's a 32, that's fine. I hope Thanos is watching this going, dude, you're such a moron. Okay, just, that's it. And then how do we get... All right, I'm going to let it power up for the first time, and then I'm going to get the firmware update for it. So, I'll switch back to the right view, right? Yeah, okay. That went in very easily, and it went out very easily. We don't have a Terra Onion Tiny Hand situation. Let me mess with the... All right, that might be able to help you all see it a little bit as I go through. No, I don't want to set up Wi-Fi. Can I just skip this? Come on. It's just scanning and scanning and scanning. Get out of here. I guess I have to. It doesn't give you a way not to. Okay, so it is making you do the software update. Gotcha. That is very cool that it shows all that right here. And I could actually totally read it with my glasses on. Just for fun. That's the difference in text. Just for fun. Yeah. All right. That's pretty cool. I guess, do you all want me to try it in a Dreamcast? Should I grab the other micro SD and do the other one? Maybe I'll do the other one just because I'm here and I got about an hour before I gotta go. Maybe a little bit less, but about that. Just get smaller eyes. Ty reminds me of back in the 80s when I'd write down my Metroid passwords and get it wrong because of things like I versus L. Yep. Mr. Mega Man fan, you were able to get one that matches the shell and everything and with a May 15th delivery? That's pretty cool. The other thing you all just have to remember when it comes to 8-bit mods is all of their release dates have been realistic and fair. So you'll never hear Thanos be like, oh yeah, we'll have it next month, and then a year and a half later it finally appears. That's not how they roll. Now funny, this is a brand new micro SD card, and I don't know if it's going to accept it. Let's see. I'm just going to do this closer to me because it's much easier. Did I type it in correctly? We'll find out. Okay. So this was just a brand new SanDisk 32 gigabyte micro SD. The exact same one that I put in this one, but you all saw me format this one first, whereas the other one I didn't. And it seems to be fine. So I think it must accept exFAT as well. One other thing I guess I should probably do here as well is just snap some pictures of them side by side. Just to have, just so that people could see for themselves who aren't in this live stream. Could post some pics online or something. If the stream went dark, it's just because of switching camera settings. Sorry about that. Oh, does the stream get dark when I just take a picture? I guess it does. Sorry about that. Glad to never have to worry about CR2032s in a Dreamcast again. I'll probably end up buying one of these soon enough. All right, let me cap this for a good side by side. Swap these around so it's less glare. Yeah, there we go. Anybody who deals with a light box already knows what I'm doing, and everybody else is like, is that your OCD that's making you rearrange all those? Because it's dumb. All right, let me try the last couple of things, because these are definitely questions people who weren't here would have. So let's get the original. Okay. Getting better at getting those off. Sounds like something Voltar would say on a live stream. So it does stick out a little bit more. That doesn't bother me in the slightest. And in fact, the way it's contoured, it looks totally like it should have. Like it should be like that. Well, I'll show the other one again just in case. Yeah, so that's the original. And you could still see the original. Try it with the white one too. Do I need to turn my... It's so hard to photograph white things inside a light box. All right, before I plug it into an actual Dreamcast, is there any other shots that anybody wants me to take? Any other comparisons? Anything that would be conducive of being in a light box? Let me go back and check the chat. Bob is illiterate confirmed. He uses ChatGPT to write his posts on RetroRGB. Whether you believe me or not, I've never used AI before intentionally. The only time I've ever interacted with it on purpose is when I use the Brave browser and it does its auto results on the top, which are mostly wrong. But yeah, no, I don't want to use it for a while, which is weird because my entire life I was always wanted to be the first to try all the newest technology, and this is like the first time I'm like, no, I feel like it's gonna take away everything that makes me me, which is probably better for everybody else in the world, but not me. Oh, Mr. Mega Man wanted to confirm. What they said was they ordered theirs on May 15th of this year, and it's on the way, shipped on the 11th of this month. Got it. I actually think May is the correct ship date for the next batch, though. Banana for scale. All right, let me just unzip. No, I'm kidding. I had to. You totally laid that one out in front of me. Connecting two VMUs to each other. Huh. All right. All right. This is why I ask all of you. Oh. Let me see. Let's see if I can get a decent angle. It's going to blick out for 1 second just while I switch modes. Well, there you go. That's with the original. And so now let's see what happens when we power these on. Do you have to hold these to get them to power on? Yeah, okay. Okay, let's see what happens when we do the same with these. Nothing yet. Maybe that's functionality that's coming in the future. That was a good suggestion, though. I appreciate that. All right, I'm going to snap one more pic of them all next to each other and then plug it into an actual Dreamcast. And just to be an ass, I'm going to put the tiny print manual along with them too, just because I think that'd be funny. I'll do one with the original Dreamcast and then one without. Once again, I didn't screw the stream up. It's just what happens when you change modes. And once again, anything else you want me to see before I get rid of this white box, let me know. All right, we have 3 good picks. Let me check the chat, and if not, I will move on. Ivory Tower Collections, this was a very slow-paced, laid-back live stream. So I don't know if you wish you'd caught it from the beginning, but maybe go back and do it in super fast forward or something to see if I talked about anything relevant. An array with all the light changes. Yeah, I probably forgot to warn everybody about the flashing. So anybody photosensitives, probably flop it on the floor, which I'll soon be if my back doesn't get any better. So no judgment. All right, so I'm going to all right, let me just put these all in a pile here so I don't lose stuff. Because if I don't keep it organized, 5 minutes from now I'm going to be yelling at Ash Evans for coming to my house and stealing it, which is a dumb joke that has not gotten old in my stupid brain. Anybody talk to Ash in a while? I lost touch with like everybody. It's all my fault, not anybody else's. But yeah, I used to talk to Ash almost daily. That one was on me. That wasn't a Voltar scenario. Let me back this up slowly to not make anybody super dizzy. You know what's funny is this light box weighs almost nothing compared to most things that I lift, but lifting it up over my head like that to get it off, to get it off the table, that really hurt. All right, let's put this over here. Get the ISO back up to a normal. Set the focus to auto for now, and the white balance to auto as well. And let's start taking a look at this. Yeah, it does look sexy. That is my stealth Dreamcast. To whoever in the chat said that, I am officially stealing it. This is my stealth Dreamcast. That was the right choice. The other cases were so awesome, though. Like, really, really cool looking. But this is going to be the perfect one for my setup. Grab. Come on, autofocus. Help me out here. There we go. And let me see as well. I found a cable that shouldn't have been here, which means this is either a broken prototype cable that I stupidly kept for some reason without labeling it. Pro tip, if you need to keep junk stuff, label it so you know. Or it's a good cable that I forgot I had. I got no clue. That's nothing written on it. There's no stickers. Maybe this is a working prototype. Maybe it isn't. I'll find out right now. 480i mode. Let's see if this works. Let's also see if the Dreamcast works. Oh. Well, that's not a good sign. No burning smells. Oh, everybody. I didn't think I needed to test that after doing it because it didn't seem to Oh, unless my AC adapter isn't long enough. Hold on a second. There's a Voltar joke in there somewhere. Okay, the camera is going to go off for a second while I try something. So just be patient. I promise I'm not killing the stream by accident. It should be back up by now anyway. Yeah, alright, we're back. Okay. Let me try this one. Maybe it just wasn't in all the way. No? Well, this stream just took a dark turn. Time to open this sucker back up. I guess it wouldn't be a Bob stream if something didn't go completely wrong, but this was not expected. Let me raise this up and see what we could do. Get the, where's the ISO? Come on. There we go. That should look a little bit better on stream for you. I got about a half hour to go before I got an appointment, so let's see if I can make it happen. I need some more light here. Let me turn on the wireless wall switch for the Philips Hue wireless lights. I still love that setup. That is by far my worst performing video I have ever done in the history of RetroRGB, and I still stand by every single word I said in that video. Every time I watch a movie or a really cool TV show, not just like a documentary or anything, but something with a cinematic experience, I turn on the Hue, and it is so worth it. All right. Sniff test. Nothing. Not a thing burnt. If it was a bad fry or a short, that would certainly do it. There's no crimped cables anywhere. Cables are all fine. Oh, 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 oh. Uh-huh. Do you all see this? Let me get my thumb out of the way. Right there. You all see that? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I love dumb mistakes. Dumb mistakes wasted about 3 minutes of this live stream and isn't going to cost me any money at all. That is a good mistake. All right, let's try this again. Bam. All right, well, since the top's off, let me see if that cable works, see if we get signal, and go from there. Oh, I love stupid mistakes. I seem to be getting oh, it just dropped out. What happened? This might be a broken cable. Let me grab a tink and try that, but that's a really good sign. All right. That is very funny. Super chat from AAA. Thank you so much. Ugh, USB-C. No, thank you. Ivory Tower Collection said they made the fatal error of using the wrong screws when attaching the GD-ROM back into place. Oh, I'm glad I didn't do that. I do still have a stock battery on it, just because, believe it or not, I don't use this at all. I use it for testing and to get footage. So I would end up having to open it up and swap the 2032 every time I've used it anyway, which seems just like a bit of a waste of time and money. So yeah. I know it's odd that I basically... by the way, everything's going to go dark for a second. Don't worry, this is just swapping the cable. But it is odd that I do video game related things for a living and almost never have time to play video games. If it wasn't on a live stream here with you all, then I haven't really done it. Okay, beautiful. Input, RGB SCART. Let me power on this. Let me plug my controller in first so I don't blow the board out. All right, so this is in 15 kilohertz mode. And let's see if it works here. That seems completely fine. So I don't understand why I was just having trouble with my PVM. Let me just check. Let me just check everything real quick here. It's going to go dark again for a second. You should at least see some kind of Tink logo on there. All right, so I don't know what's going on with my little PVM. That seems to be working here, so I'm gonna, since we got to go through the Tink, I'm going to set it to 480p anyway, so at least it looks nicer. Let me just line it up with Daytona, and then I'll switch back to the other view so we could see it here. And let me plug this into a different capture card so that we could also switch back to the Tink if we need to. I will have to troubleshoot the other thing why my PVM isn't working afterwards. All right, I think I got it all connected. Let me all right, check the chat, and then I'll load up a game and see what it looks like. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'll put the Dreamcast back together in a second, but I do want to at least load this up and see. Okay, so I'm going to just load Daytona and see what happens on the VMU. Still booting, it's at the Dreamcast boot logo. It just says Hasbro. We're almost at that screen where it says VMU. All these non-skippable screens. All right, to save a game data, do you want to save game data? Yes. We are in Daytona now, and it doesn't seem to be saying anything in here. Now, mind you, I didn't read the manual or the instructions or anything. So I don't really know what I'm doing. I just kind of wanted to see first look, because I think as much as all of us like to pretend we read the manuals, I think most of us kind of just do the same as I do and try it first and then read the manual. Okay, so we're in the middle of the game right now, and that's what we're seeing. So let me see if I could check this out. So does anybody want me to try anything specifically with in-game stuff, per-game menus? I got less than a half hour to go, but I'd like to show you anything else that you'd like to see. And while I'm waiting for that, I'm just going to grab a very quick SCART cable and try to figure out if the problem was the Dreamcast, the PVM, or the cable. That's going to take less than a minute. And then I'll add the resistor back to the Dreamcast too, so we don't overheat or anything. All right, let me power this off. So just to show you what I'm looking at here, I don't know if you could see it, but the my little PVM up there working fine with the Genesis plugged in. So since I got to power this stuff off anyway, let me try the Dreamcast in 480i mode one more time, and if it doesn't work, then this would have been the cable that had incompatible 480i. Which doesn't really matter for anything we're testing today, but it would matter for me so that I could mark the cable and not do this again, especially on stream when other people are watching. Let's give this a try real quick. Power on. Watch it work now. Watch it work now that y'all are watching, and just to make me look like an idiot, which is fine. I'd rather have it work and look like a moron. If that boots properly. That's really funny. I wonder if there is something wrong with the cable. Let me wiggle it. No. No. By the way, y'all like a pair of glasses number 1 that I sometimes have to wear? It's only for I guess a foot past, like if you stick your arm out in front of you, a foot past that, I still have pretty perfect eyesight, to the point where, like, if I'm looking at my X-Files poster, it's better with the glasses off. But yeah, computer monitors and stuff like that. All right, this is why I love asking the chat. Completely Average Gameplay said they think I need a specific fork of Open Menu to get Game ID working. That would make sense. Same with the mode and stuff like that. Does anybody specifically know? Black Bunny, same thing. Did I put their version of Open Menu on it? No. Is that going to be in the instructions as well? Has anybody done this before? While I wait for that answer, I'm going to put the resistor back in the power supply and button this up. And I am going to remember to unplug the AC power. I haven't done that in well over a decade, but I used to have a rule in my lab when I worked at a place that designed computers: no open frame power supplies before 10 a.m. because of how many times I would walk in, or others, and just be like, oh, what's this? And put our hand on it. And then I'd be smelling burnt flesh in the morning, which is as gross as you could imagine it. So, yeah, there was no early morning burnt flesh sniffing at my office. Black Bunny, it's linked in the manual. Okay. Let me, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because of the incident with the manual before. I'll do another screen share for that in a minute. Let me just get this back together, make sure I didn't break it, and then I could try that as well. And for anybody just joining, this is the dummy load you put on the 12-volt rail of the power supply to prevent overheating when using an optical drive emulator as opposed to the original GD-ROM. Let me just test. Solid. Also solid. And for anybody with a keen eye, yes, this is a little precariously close to the next pin, but they're both ground, so it doesn't really matter. Slap the sucker back together and try again. I really don't mind the ribbon fail. That made me laugh, and I love a stupid mistake, but I don't like that the PVM was getting wonky. I hope that's just a bad prototype cable that will sometimes give me trouble and not trouble with my little PVM, because I really like that thing. And I sold all my spares of the 8-inch. I got a 14 that'll fit there, and it'll be fine, but I love that little thing. Years ago, I mean, a decade ago now, somebody had, I think 7 or 8 of them that their company was just getting rid of. And they contacted me and were like, hey, I saw your website. I think you might like this junk. And gave them to me for like $100 for all of them. And I gave them to a bunch of my friends as holiday presents that year. I love doing stuff like that. Spreading the CRT love. All right, plugged in. Let's get these plugged in. Power plugged in. I'm just going to do one more boot to make sure it actually powers on. And we are still having zero trouble whatsoever with the PVM. I really hope that was a loose cable or something stupid and not my PVM getting weird. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, so at the very least, this does say GD menu. Let me switch it back to the other view here. So that is pretty cool. So let me I guess let me try figuring that open menu, and if there's anything else you want, please let me know now, and we'll go from there. Toaster 05, your eyesight might be failing, but if you're willing to put up with the stock fan, we know your hearing is shot already. Believe it or not, it doesn't bother me at all. It's I'm so used to fans in everything, and I also, when I play the rare moment I get to play Dreamcast, it's on an NEC XM29 that has a much louder fan than the Dreamcast. Much, much louder. Somebody was asking about the PVM. Let me it is a which model is this? 8042-8042Q. So it's not the high resolution ones, but I also don't need that on an 8-inch model either. So I'm fine with this one. It's always done me well. All right, let me switch back over to display capture. Oh, let me minimize this so you all don't see like a tunnel effect. Okay, so we'll go Pro. See, Thanos, once again, I'm going to have to bust your chops about this. Why not just print that on the instruction manual in very big lettering? 8bitmods.wiki/VMU Pro. I would have gotten that on the first try. All right, let's Pro. The emulators I'll try a different time, but as much as I think it's so awesome, I'm never going to be able to see these. Like, literally. I would have to have my glasses on, it'd have to be an inch in front of my face. So, no disrespect, I think that's awesome. I just, yeah. All right, so let's try open menu. You could download a VMU Pro compatible version from the link below. First read.bin. The VMU Pro could also automatically identify the game by its graphics alone through our display ID technology. Huh. Didn't work for Daytona. All right, well, let me power this off, grab the... So powering off this thing, I'm holding the button on the side. No, one press doesn't do anything. Hold. Nothing, but the sleep button puts it to sleep. Okay. Let me... Okay, well that's pretty cool. So that's what's on the micro SD for this one. Battery log. All right, I'll throw the GDMU card in here as well. And also, let me check the chat and see if you have anything else to suggest while I do all this. Does the ozone stuff actually work? Because Technology Collections has some amazing videos that I really enjoyed, and they've really helped the way I do a lot of stuff. Like that, I think if I remember correctly, I got that humidifier idea from them. I switched to dish detergent powder, but there's also a couple that he did that were just wrong, just completely wrong. Not at all what they should have been. All right, so instead of this, then... All right, so I got my GDMU SD card. So how do I install Open Menu? And it says you could download a VMU Pro compatible version from the following link. And that's not what that is. This is just the .bin file. I mean, do we just do Open Menu for VMU Pro? Oh, here we go. I just said I don't use AI. This is the only time I do, and it's almost always wrong. You need the recent fork. Oh, and look, some idiot put a video up. I should have just texted Derek. That's the megavolts version. Anybody want to help me out here? There's a pin in the 8-Bit Mods Discord for the setup. Oh, getting it set up is a little complex. So if you don't think I could do it in 5 minutes, I should probably just end the stream because it's already been over 2 hours and I don't want to be late for a meeting later. Or an appointment, a meeting. It's if I got a suit on and I'm going to go sit around a desk with a bunch of people selling stuff. All right. Well, let me just try. Yeah, I don't really know if I have time to get into this one at the moment, so I'm just gonna switch back. But listen, this was fun, and I would love to know what you all would like me to test next. Because if it's something that I could do, if I test any of this stuff and I find that there's some confusing things that need to be clarified, I could always do a very short video on social media or something like that. Oh, okay, hold on. Govnet.com. If you use GD Menu Card Manager, you could just drop that in as a replacement in the Open Menu folder. All right, let me switch back and get that. Hold on, we got time for this. Let me load that up first, though. Oh, and I am in the 8-bit mods. All right, hold on. Let's see. VMU Pro, pinned messages. I think I found it here. All right. It is not. Yeah, it is not as easy as to find as you would think. All right, hold on. Let me switch back over to desktop view. Let me, I guess I'll re-download that. And then I have GD Menu Card Manager. I'm going to reinsert the drive. Give that a second. Okay. All right, so let me grab this instructions that I just copied off of the wiki. Start the GD Menu Manager, select Open Menu, delete one game or the menu entry itself. I could very easily add this back. No disrespect to Artemio. Then add any new games by dragging their folders into the window. So we'll go... not bin, huh? Let me see. Yeah, it's not working. Interesting. So basically make a change so when you hit save changes, it syncs the new change. Okay, hold on. Save changes. Confirm yes. All right, it says done. Now we're on open menu. Wonder why I have two wipeouts here. Weird, but okay. So open menu. So then, hey, Montagy, thank you so much for the super chat. That is really nice of you. Happy holidays to you as well. All right, so we'll go back in here. No items match your search. So nothing's in there. It says first read.bin. Do I just have too old of a version of the GD Menu Card Manager? Is version 2.001 the one to do? Save changes. Maybe I need to actually boot it with this first. Let's try. Man, I really got to get one of Greg's 3D printed inserts so I don't have to worry about this. Just plug it in the top. All right, here we go. All right, I'll put this up here so y'all can see it. It's going to be kind of small, but it's all right. We'll figure it out. We just load something with open menu. I'm going to wait for that to boot, check the chat, and see if there's anything else I'm missing here. If Derek sees this stream, he's going to message me like, why didn't you just text me or something, you moron? ScubbyNet, in the tools open menu folder on the SD card for the GDMU, right? I mean, let me go to manual focus here. It's working now. Wasn't doing that before. Let's see if I could get this a little more. Yeah, I wasn't doing that before. So whatever we're doing, we did something right. All right, let me flip it off and try one last time, and then I'll call the stream. I also want to see if it created the folder on this, so I'll grab them both and just check really quick. So if I ever have time to do a quick setup video for this, and anybody who's watching the stream is going to laugh because the quick setup video is going to be like 4 minutes long, and you all know we're going to know how long it took me to fumble through this. Oh, it is on the computer. Okay. Hey, any old games? Yeah, I hear that. All right. All right, so let me switch over to this view. Okay, so there, it's not just memory card 1. There was a game-specific thing there on the VMU Pro's card. All right, I'll put that back in, and I will replace this with the GDMU's card, and then let me go find, where we go. Okay, so we got GD menu card manager, tools, open menu, menu data, burst read.bin. Okay. Right, I'll open that up. And let me I also don't understand why there's 2 wipeouts. So let me just delete that too. Save changes. Sort list. Save changes. So I think that should be what I needed to do. Now I should get the game ID stuff because I did save changes after doing that. Let me eject. So GoviNet.com. So with that file replaced in the open menu folder, any updates you make with the card manager will copy the updated open menu version with the game ID support. So what I just did appears to be correct then, because after I added it, then I launched, then I was able to add and change some games around and resave again, twice in fact. So okay, cool. Let's try this. What's up, EW? All right, let me put this back in. Let me the IS. It's all dark because I have it ready to look at the PVM, by the way. So don't worry about that. We'll get this here. Oh, come on. Yeah, that's probably better. It's dark here. I don't want y'all watching me just fumble around with this. Okay, back up here. All right, so basically just booting up here for a second. Uh-oh. Nothing. 0. Nothing. Let me try this one last time, and then I'll call it, because that means I might have just, I might need to mess with this, and in which case I'm just going to be super lazy, call Derek, and have him help me figure it out. No, okay, it did boot this time, and the 240p test suite was sorted properly. So let's just do a different game that I haven't done yet that should have it in there. Virtua Tennis, why not? All right, so I'll go back to focusing on this, and we'll see immediately if we did it right or not. Still have the Dreamcast logo. Sega logo. Aha. Okay. Now saving, all right. It said save failed on screen. Interesting. Let me try resetting. Let me just do that one more time. And then that's it. And I'm going to bail right after this one. So any questions or anything, please fire away right now. Probably raise the ISO a little bit here. And I'm going to be patient this time and not just jam the start button immediately. All right, it just said load failed. It doesn't necessarily mean... Could just mean there was nothing on here yet. All right, let me switch over to the computer view, and we'll check this card and go from there. And that'll be it, and I'll call it this one. Oh, I should probably... Yeah, not. Interesting. So it didn't make one for that. All right. Well, I'll go back and mess with this. I'll update everything, and I'll report back. But I have a feeling this is just me not reading the manual. And I have a feeling as soon as I message Derek, he's going to be like, "You're a moron. Why didn't you just do this, that, and the other thing?" And it'll be totally working as soon as I do that. So, hey, this was a blast. Thank you all for keeping me company while doing this. Thank you for let me do one last focus in on that awesome solid black Dreamcast case. Links to everything, of course, is in the description. And this was always so much more fun hanging out with you all doing this stuff than it is just sitting here doing it by myself. And I really don't mind making stupid mistakes either. Kind of makes me laugh anyway. So hopefully it'll give you all a chuckle as well. But yeah, this is cool. I got the perfect case for my setup. I'm going to do some VMU Pro testing. I'm going to get these set up from, well, I think these are pretty much already set up for my friend. I'll just do the GDMU for me for when I eventually get one of these, because I think I do want one now. I just think it's going to make everything a lot easier for the 2 times a year I could actually sit down and play Dreamcast. So yeah, thank you all so much. You're all very awesome. I really appreciate you, and I will